We built this city on rock and roll. That one's in honor of Mayor Fisk because apparently he loves that song or hates that song. We don't know. But what we do know is that we're back to review Daredevil Born Again, episode 4, titled Sic Semper Systema, which in Latin is thus always to the system, in case you were not fluent in Latin. I'm Brody, who is not fluent in Latin. That is Tudong Dylan, who speaks perfect Latin. And that is Charlie, who took German in high school.
Dona nobis patrum.
And we are Talk Punch. We talk movies, shows, and sometimes questionable life choices. So let's go through this episode and see what we all thought of this. Charlie, take us away.
All right. So I'm always going to ask you guys about the opening scene because it is always the opportunity for the show to really kind of grab you. Obviously, we had in episode 1, we had the great, exciting intro. In episode 2, they followed it up with another action sequence. Now this is back to back, just kind of emotional talking scenes. We get the White Tiger stuff being bagged up in the precinct, and then his niece comes in and just does some grade A nutshelling, where she just kind of says the entire plot of the first few episodes. He was accused of a crime he didn't commit, and then you defended him, and then he was released from jail, and then he still put on his costume, and then he was killed, and then it was your fault because you said you were going to take him to the frog place, and like it was just like some grade A nutshelling. What'd you guys think of the intro here?
That young girl was using some naughty language.
Oh, she did.
She dropped an F-bomb.
I'm glad that in the end she kind of she was letting her emotions out. She was letting them build. I was like, oh, come on, don't do this to Matt. What did he do? And then she actually hugged him for relief. I thought that part was good. I was like, all right, good, thank you. Poor Matt.
I mean, she's absolutely going to be the next White Tiger, right?
Right.
Like, do you think it's going to be in this show or next season or something like that? Or you think it's just like a down the line?
We'll talk about this a little bit more as the show goes along, but I can tell you one thing that I don't think the show needs is another side thread that doesn't have any real bearing or main connection on the story. There's 4 episodes left. I don't think we need another F story or something. Let's just stick to the main parts.
Yeah,
but having said
sure,
that, they probably will. Episode 7 or something. She'll be like, "Hey, it's me," and then there'll be a whole side story with it. Why not?
I'm hoping maybe towards maybe the they always have a stinger at the end. It's the MCU. I'm hoping she finds his stuff or something like that. That's all.
Stinger. That's the way to do it. Bam. Bada bing, bada boom. Done.
Thing.
She can show up in the Young Avengers. I don't need her back in Daredevil.
There it is. There you go.
Yeah. So we kind of we have this emotional scene with the two of them. We get a lot of close-ups on graffiti and the scene cuts here. What could they be alluding to? We get the bar scene with Daniel kind of running his mouth and then getting in the cab, which kind of awkwardly fades directly into a man being arrested on the curb, which you kind of then say, the client of the week here for Matt, I guess, and the fiddle faddle incident, and we kind of
candy corn, man.
He gets a phone call about Leroy Bradford, his new client. And then we kind of hop into the marriage counseling. This whole intro is kind of bing, 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 with a lot of kind of setup, I guess. We get the marriage counseling. Hey, can we sit in this discomfort? We talk a little bit more about the mysterious Adam, and then we get a BB report. And this is kind of the first chunk of this episode. Yeah. Was there anything in that beginning that you guys want to highlight or talk about, or should we just keep rolling?
Keep rolling.
We've talked about the BB report, and I kind of liked the first couple episodes. I think I'm kind of over it now. I'm
done. Okay, you've come around to our side.
I'm kind of okay, we have enough stuff to do. There's more stuff that I think is interesting. I don't need more BB reports. I don't need random people.
Wait. Okay, so did she leak that stuff to the press? And isn't she supposed to work for Wilson Fisk as well?
No, I think she's just trying to get stories out there, but I think she's going to ultimately be out for revenge for Ben, right? If she does she not know?
I don't care.
She's got to know.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't care.
I would be surprised. Yeah, she seemed like she had no idea. She seemed happy to be working for Wilson Fisk at the place. Now, does that mean she's not like acting? That's a good question. She may
But
be, but I don't know how
She was
she
just
would.
she was just interviewing. It's not like she got like a job on staff or something. She's just
She didn't.
she got the one-on-one sit down, and then
but
got the
she's also like,
exclusive or whatever.
she's also hanging out with Daniel and staying out till 5 a.m, drinking and trying to like being mean to him because he's like, I need to be responsible. I actually really like this job. And she's like, whatever, you know, gotta
Well,
go
because
to
she's
work.
trying to get information, which
Which
she
she
did, and
totally
then
did.
she she got the scoop.
And then she
Yeah, I mean
turned around.
this
And,
is
yeah,
this is reporters and TV shows 101 right here.
I'm
You
over
liquor up
BB
your
though.
sources, you get the.
I'm
All right,
done.
fair enough. Well,
I'm done. Get her out of here.
and
Get
then
her out of here.
hey, we only get one more BB report before the show ends, but
Me too.
so we go from here. We go to Matt's client meeting, where we get some classic repartee with a very disgruntled young man, very James Dean-esque disgruntled. We get a few blind jokes,
Leroy!
which are always a classic. You can't go wrong giving the old blind joke to Matt Murdock. We
What?
get a lot of like, look, this episode more than any of the other ones really felt like two different visions being mishmashed together for me.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of like MCU jokes, like the scrolls and with the Latvia stuff.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he drops the scroll line and stuff.
The scroll thing got me. The scroll thing got me. Of like, they have you on tape stealing this stuff. Would it be a scroll? And I was like, okay, that's actually pretty funny. Coming out of this character that I really did not like. This guy was a jerk. I understand he's in jail and he doesn't want to go to jail and he wants probation, all this stuff. But this dude was a jerk.
He was a plot device, and the show really kind of went out of its way, and we can kind of talk about this chunk here. I'll give you a chunk, right? Because we go from this meeting, then he has the flirty encounter with the DA, where he's batting his eyes underneath his sunglasses, and
super flirty. He's got a girlfriend at home, man. Like
what he wants. He's
got a girlfriend who's waiting for him to come home because we saw what happened when he came home, and he's like,
he was just
flirting
charming.
up a storm.
He was merely being charming. He was being his Matt Murdock self,
But we go from like this courtroom scene to the scene at the port with the mayor, and he's he wants to do something, and all these kind of red tape issues are being brought to his attention. And I think the show is not being very subtle and saying like, these two men, two sides of the same one wears a white suit, one wears the red suit, but who's the real devil? And this whole kind of, they want to save the city, but they're fighting who they are inside. That's not very subtle juxtaposition they keep trying to cram down our throats. And then we have Matt dealing with the brokenness of the system, and then we go to Fisk dealing with the brokenness of the system, and they're both running up into this kind of like, I wish I could change the system, which I guess I could just circumvent it by unleashing this inner devil, but I can't do that. And so it's just, this whole episode has this like very not so subtle symbolism of this back and forth between the two men dealing with these similar issues in their own way. So, all right. So from meeting with the guy to the mayor at the port, anything you guys want to add to any of those scenes?
I thought that it was funny how apparently clueless Wilson Fisk is about just how things work. He has a table and like a model set up at a dock, and he's like, Daniel, go schedule a press conference. And the lady's like, whoa, there is so much that has to be done before you just start construction on this thing like tomorrow. I was like, he really wanted to move very quick on this, and it was funny that this lady had to like talk him down so much. Like scheduling a press conference.
Loved it. I loved it when he's like, all right, now that's step number one. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, go do it. That's fantastic. That's step number one. I had no idea either. I'm like, how many different things do you have to do with this? I thought it was hilarious. I liked that part. And he was like, all right, go. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, go! Yeah, it's great.
Step one, at least, like, do one of these steps.
They
Um,
kind of hammered this home with like the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, bro.
oh, I wasn't sure if we were going straight from this into Fisk's actual duties right now of being mayor and having to go around.
Well, we can kind of lump that together. It's later in the episode, but I do think they're kind of just trying to show that we have two men who want to remake the city in the image of what they view justice to be, and they are both running into roadblocks in trying to do that. And there is something inside of each of them that can burst through those roadblocks, but they're trying to fight it. And so we see the Fisk face boiling over with anger while they sing the "We built this." Roxette getting some royalties out of this. There and again, a not so subtle. Hey, we built this city. Like, whoa, what's this? What's the symbolism here? I can't figure it out.
Why
They're kinda-
why was it two different groups singing the same song? It was so
The look on his
random.
face, the look on his face, you're just like, unbelievable. I thought that was fantastic.
Like-
And we were gonna, like, in the first place, we're like, we have a second song. No.
Oh, that was so funny.
That was. I
That
wrote
was
in my
so
notes.
funny.
I wrote, "This is a classic Dylan exit." One's enough.
It was great. It was
Here, I have the
great.
talent.
was great.
Another bite.
No need for a
Everybody
second.
knows-
It was great.
Only like one. I never liked the number two. Just one. Especially when it comes to songs.
That's right. You invite Dylan over for dinner, and he has like the bread, and he's like, "Oh, couldn't eat another bite."
Couldn't even know
Thank
about
you for your
here.
hospitality. I gotta go. The talent in the cooking, fantastic though.
Excellent.
Excellent. City never sleeps.
Hey,
But
they say that you leave them wanting more. That's the whole thing.
That's
But
the-
but
don't
they
ever
they
want
had
more, so
they had
it's
the
okay.
middle schoolers singing this, and then he goes to the Latvian place, and they're singing it in their own language, and I laughed because it's so
Beautiful.
randomly funny. But I was like, is there something that I'm missing about this song? Is there a joke that I'm not like up to date with about this song? Why is this happening? I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Wasn't it like one of his favorite songs, like Charlie said?
I have no
maybe
idea.
they ran it in the campaign ads of his original campaign.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I think really they're taking a not so veiled shot at Zack Snyder and the Justice League, where
Yes.
they had the long singing to Aquaman as he's
Oh,
leaving
man.
the village that just went on and on in the Snyder cut. And
Oh.
Fisk's like, the singing, can't handle it. Just like we were when we watched that.
Yes.
True,
Exactly.
true.
There you go.
All
But
right,
yeah,
well,
it was funny.
so we get.
no,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to move us back. So we have the back-to-back scenes here that we just talked about, of how hard it is to make actual change for these men, and then we do get we built the city. We get the BB article that Daniel has leaked, and we get this very angry Fisk at the
Very
Latvian Cultural Center. A lot of Latvian stuff in this episode, and then obviously we have the Daniel coming clean in the office. So we get this kind of juxtaposition again of the guys. Matt trying to break the good news to his client, but it's not really good news for the client, because at the end of it, he still goes back to this kind of hey, you're gonna have 10 days, but like I'm sorry, your food stamps got revoked, and you're still gonna be hungry and starving, and there's nothing I can really do for you. I've won you this case, which really does nothing to make your life dramatically better after you're out of jail. And we get the Fisk, now angry at the leak, and so it's just kind of back and forth again. And then here we are. He's yelling at Daniel, and then
Great
there's
scene. That's a great scene.
son he never had right there. The mentor that may or may not shoot him in the face later. Let's talk about that scene, because I gotta tell you, I kind of like young Gandolfini. I kind of like him. I like him.
Interesting.
That was
Interesting.
Such an excellent scene and a great bit of acting right there. You could see Fisk slowly just be like, actually like impressed. He was ready to maybe not kill him, but metaphorically kill him. He was like, "You're going to be fired. You're going to be out of the city." All of this stuff, and he didn't even beg for his life. He was just like, "I just want to show you, I just want to show you that I believe in what you're doing. I thought that was shocking and unbelievable. I loved that he did that. And the reaction that Fisk gives was beautiful. I was like, if he doesn't like this, if he still fires him or kills him, he is truly heartless. But that's the thing with these characters. A lot of them, they show us all these different sides to them, and I thought this was just masterfully done all around.
Well
I
acted for sure.
I I'm going to take a little bit of a different take here. I thought the scene was good, but I'm sort of over Daniel. I'm sort of because he's just another character, and he's taken up time, he's taken up space. I want to. We are now 4 episodes through this, and we have seen Daredevil for all of 10 minutes.
That's terrible.
I want some Daredevil. I'm ready to kind of move on. I don't know how much more space Daniel's going to take up. I have a feeling he's going to die. Like Fisk is going to kill him. He's going to die. It's just he is, and I'm sort of ready for it.
I didn't, just to be clear, I like young Gandolfini, the actor. I'm not like in love with Daniel, the character. Just want to make that clear.
I
We have
thought
too
you
many
guys were
characters,
talking about
too many
how much you
loose
like
plot
Dan.
threads. Very well acted scene.
Yeah,
Good
it was.
acting. It was a nice scene, but yeah, too many loose threads that aren't leading anywhere. But, we had that we get the scene with Powell earlier. I forgot to mention that. Where he kind of confronts him in the hall and realizes from his heartbeat that he's telling the truth about not killing White
which
Tiger.
Which was cool.
And Powell kind of looks a little bit like Robert De Niro and Eugene Levy had a baby. He's got just something about his face. Go back, watch that scene. You got the eyebrows, but also he's trying to do a little De Niro impression. I got my friends over here. I'm gonna come get you. But so there's a lot of characters doing who knows what. We get more Muse art, more BB report, and we're already kind of almost to the end of this episode. We get a long sequence of Matt doing some CSI work where he realizes there's slopey ground. He immediately finds the bullet casing, and then starts walking with purpose.
Which
and we kind of all know.
Sorry to jump in. Finding the bullet casing, I was like, how is his powers helping him to find that? I mean, I understand that he can kind of tell where it might have rolled, but he stuck his hand like in a sewer grate or something like that, and just picked up this shell. Like, how did he know that shell was right there?
See, Brittany, what you don't understand is that a glass bottle rolls in the exact same way as a discharged bullet casing.
Oh, that's true. That's science, right?
And so when he kicked that and it rolled, he knew that it would follow that exact same trajectory. And when the glass shards broke and the sound reverberated from the street, he could feel the shape of the bullet casing in that same general area through his sonar power, because he's the blind justice, and he knew. There it is.
That's good enough for me. You've convinced me.
Without the sonar, that's police procedure. I have no idea about the police procedure. Just so
I like when stuff like this happens in shows, I go back and forth because I'm like, man, that's really a bit ridiculous. But also, like, how long would I want him to look for the bullet cases?
Totally.
Like how.
Totally.
Like they have a little placard that says like 3 hours later, and he's like crawling through sewer gunk. It's fine. They sped it along, but you're right. You're absolutely right. It was kind of like, oh, okay, all right. He's got it. He's got the bullet casing.
I'll be honest. I actually kind of just stopped. I was like, I have no clue what he's doing, and to be completely honest, I didn't even really care. I'm like, I know exactly where he's going. And that's straight to the Punisher, straight to Frank Castle, more John Berthard. Now, I'll say this: that's one character you can always use more. I mean, like in this series, maybe not his own, but definitely in this. I was like, give him some more stuff. I want to see. He looks like he's getting ready for things, and I'm sure he does not appreciate police acting like him or definitely relating to him. And the way he was talking, he was basically saying like he isn't like I don't know, like before I know in the comic he's not exactly appreciated cops doing this because cops are supposed to keep the peace and he is a soldier who's just gonna kill people and so people can't co-opt his own grief and his want for retribution. Like he's not gonna be pleased with that at all. He hasn't been in the comics before.
Yeah. And he had like that board, like he had that crime board up in the background. A lot of things. I don't know if that's going to end up being Muse related or just something that was there, and we don't ever need to speak of it again. This was an added scene.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
you know, we got this. Is this the last episode that we have to deal with the mishmash? Was it 4 that
I
they
don't
filmed
know.
before the strike?
I'm not sure.
If it's not 4, it's soon. At some point, we will be getting only new stuff,
Sure.
which I'm looking forward to.
definitely. That's a
We yeah, we'll talk. We'll get. You know, we'll have a long. We can have some ranting sessions at the end. Stay tuned. But let's talk about the scene because it was incredibly well. Speaking of an incredibly well acted scene, anytime these two are together, we get some fireworks, and this was certainly no exception. This is a really good, well acted scene. But Brody, you're making a face. Did you hate the scene? Do you hate the Punisher? Do you hate
No,
John Bernthal?
No, I thought it was great. Was I making a face?
Is it Charlie Cox that you hate?
No.
That's even worse.
No, I love them both. I was a little concerned for Frank Castle. It has he like really gone crazy because he's hearing his dead son's voice saying "Get him, Daddy," and I was like, oh, that's like a new level of kind of crazy for Punisher. Like, get him, Daddy. You know, kill him, Daddy. Chop off his head, Daddy. You know, like I was a little concerned.
When you say it, it sounds creepy. You know, maybe maybe have one of your kids come in and try to say it. We'll see if that sounds a little
okay. Okay. I was,
Kill 'em all,
you know,
Daddy.
it was super sad to see Matt not be able to say Foggy's name and then sort of break down when Punisher kind of confronted him about that, and then he finally did say his name. It was really sad.
Actually, I did want to talk with you about this because I thought maybe it was Fisk's name was the name you couldn't say.
Really? No, I thought it was Foggy's.
Because he was like, you, who is this all about? And you know, and then he was talking about the bullseye, or you know, and all that stuff. But he seemed to say Foggy's name fine when that came up. It was kind of a weirdly circularly written. I was kind of hoping he would say the name just so it would be really clear who he was talking about.
But he did say that he couldn't save his friend.
Yeah,
and that it's all about him. So I took that whole conversation to be about Foggy.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was dating back to something that the Punisher had more knowledge of. Season 3, did a friend die? All right, so maybe just Foggy then. But he said Foggy's name lots of times. So he's talked about Foggy to the therapist, and he's talked about Foggy to
but
redhead.
he's
said it's not like he hasn't said Foggy's name.
Yeah, but he didn't say it. Yeah, but he didn't say it to Castle. He actually was like saying that. I mean, like he even says like, are you looking like, are you asking me like this, or are you asking my permission? It seems like you're asking my permission, and it's almost like he's asking permission to kill these people. It's like he's like, I know exactly. That's why he even had said like, I hear my kid's voice saying kill him. I was just like and he's like, do you hear his voice? I think he was talking. Yeah, I think it was Foggy, because that's if he was going to have retribution like Castle, that it's somehow still wants. I mean, that's who he get retribution for. Like, we still don't even know who hired Bullseye.
Well, and that's kind of where I don't know if it was more connected to that. He's just had no trouble talking about Foggy. So it just seemed odd. I mean, this the first conversation they've had in how many years, or you know, and then he's like, you can't even say his name, and he's like, well, you know, I mean, I've talked to other people that I'm closer to than you.
It's true.
And then he does say his name. I don't know. It was just kind of anyway, that was weird to me. He was pretty it wasn't like Frank Castle style justice, but he was pretty happy with Bullseye getting like a life sentence. it is one of like the things that has struck me odd about this whole season is like they're not really having Matt show a lot of emotion. Like he
Right.
has a near breakdown after he beats the, and really kills the two cops that don't die. Um, and then the next episode, he's like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
Foggy's dead, and he's kind of like, "Hey, how's it going?" And White Tiger's dead, and he's like, "That's a bummer. That's like that stinks. Like that's a downer."
Sure.
It's just not really. I don't know. Anyway, it was an emotional scene. It was good, but I don't know. I just some of it felt a little bit like what it was, which was a show that was a scene that was added to a show that wasn't originally meant to have that scene in it. So there's
Sure.
threads that are being pulled in that scene that don't
Right.
connect back to the narrative that we've been following for the first 4 episodes. Anyway, so a lot of it, like it was great seeing them together, but a lot of it kind of worked, and then some of it felt a little.
Do you think that this episode was worse with how they kind of weaved it together than the last episode? Because I kind of feel like it is.
Well, hey, you're gonna have to wait and see my rating at the end.
I think we'll talk about that at the end. Yeah.
But I think you can probably tell from my tone how I feel. Is there anything you want to add more about Punisher? Punisher, this is the highlight of the episode. Anything else you guys want to discuss from this?
Did he know he knew exactly where Punisher was? So were they like still in contact, or how did he know? How did he know
I think
where
they're friends
Punisher was?
on like
Though?
Facebook or
Instagram. No, Instagram.
follow each other on the socials, that kind of thing.
Mhm. I thought
When he rolled that bottle, Brody.
Yeah, he knew exactly what was happening after that. He knew where that bullet came from, and it didn't even come from Frank Castle's gun.
Yeah, it's
What
true.
did that freaking bottle tell him?
I wonder if they'll address that, Brody. I wonder if they'll address that they've been in touch, or that he just kind of keeps tabs on him to know where he is at all times. I don't know if they'll address it, but
Get here! I rolled a bottle in there.
the journey of 1,000 steps begins with one rolling bottle.
You found a bullet with my logo on it, and I didn't even shoot it. He led me right to you.
Yeah, it was, and I do get a little bit confused as to what he can see or not see too. So he can see like a carved in Punisher logo. I think that's just being able to see.
I thought he could feel. Right? I thought he could feel it.
So he knows exactly what the Punisher logo feels like from a loosely carved in on a bullet casing.
Sure.
Like just with one thumb rub. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Really?
That's great. That's even more impressive than the bottle trajectory. That's good.
Ooh.
I don't know about that. The bottle trajectory, that's science. That's science.
And it was
That's true.
I literally wrote science with an exclamation point in my notes.
Did you really?
I did. We found it. We do it. CSI, eat your heart out. I expected him to take those sunglasses off and like,
Yeah.
now it's my turn to be the Punisher. So we go from this scene to back scenes with the two lovers, right? Because you didn't know, we're trying to set up a juxtaposition of these two different people. So we have Fisk and Vanessa, and then we cut to Matt and Heather. And so we have a couple little different relationships in different places at different stages. And yet, in both of these scenes, there's a distance between them because each man is fighting with something internally that is preventing them from being close with the one that they love. You guys want to add anything to this before we get to the end?
Nope. Perfect.
Nope.
I love it.
All right. So from here, we get Muse.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
And
Sorry, I thought that we were going to talk about the two guys and kind of them embracing their alter egos again.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did skip that. Yeah,
I just want to say, like, I love that.
And the "Let Me Out" as Daredevil's doing his thing. Yeah, but Adam in the dungeon.
Yep.
Hey, he said he didn't kill him.
Yeah,
He was telling the truth.
I loved that. We go to Fisk and he has the biggest plate of food. He's got pasta and like 5 sausages. And so far in every episode, we see him eating like egg whites and 1 asparagus. and now he's Kingpin, and he is grubbing on just a feast. He's feasting on all this food, and I
Only
love
artists
that.
with that always make it sound so gross. Like it's always in this episode 1, he starts eating that thing, and I'm like, oh, that sounds terrible.
But then that, going back and forth with then Matt and the Billy Clubs, well, for one thing, I love that he has like he must own this building or something, that he has like a secret lair on top of his building. I thought was funny that he's got like a secret door that he has all of his stuff. But I thought it was great. I love that you see, just a whole bunch of helmets. You see kind of the older ones, you see the yellow one, you see kind of the current one, you see another one that might be a black one that I was wondering like where that was, if we're getting like the armored suit or something like that. So that was great. And then the Billy Clubs. I am a fan of the Billy Clubs. I've always loved Daredevil's Billy Clubs and just the stuff he was doing.
Because I thought that was, if you remember Novu's weapon, the blade at the end of it, I thought he was practicing with that. I thought it was different, like a chain and whatnot. Blade at the end of a chain.
It looked like the Billy Clubs when he opened up the case. But I loved all that. I thought all that was really great. Good. I loved it.
Yeah, that's true. Excellent.
And I hope it means we're getting Daredevil soon.
Yeah. Come on.
All right. So you're right. Sorry, I did skip over that.
No,
I had it all lumped. We get Muse. He's definitely the kid from the book signing, right?
I think so.
Just super creepy.
When we first watched that episode, it was like, okay, this kid's gonna come back later. And then you see, and he reminds me of Anton Yelich.
Anton Yelchin, yeah.
Yelchin.
That was so sad.
But not him. But yeah, he's got a creepy vibe.
Yeah,
super creepy.
I kind of freeze framed on the eyes, and I was like, yeah, that's him. That's the guy. And we have now officially our main protagonists, our main villain, have had about 2 minutes of screen time between the two of them, 4 episodes into an 8-episode season.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, but
good. Good.
I hope that we are moving along with this story now. I'm ready for Daredevil and Muse to kind of get featured.
Well, Teresa's gonna die for sure. So Muse is killing Teresa.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's gonna make both Fisk and Daredevil mad. That's happening for sure. Like the show has not earned. Like I've been very positive. You guys know this. I've been trying very hard to be very positive and Pollyanna about where the show has been and where it is going. This episode really made me aggravated. This was a tough one for me to sit through. This was a filler episode. If I did not watch this and I watched the first 3 and then started on episode 5, I would not be confused. There was nothing that happened in here that pushed the story forward. We got no new information about anything other than the fact that there is a serial killer, which we saw for 5 seconds at the end of the episode. So I could have just watched that and then understood that he exists. And then nothing else in this episode happened other than like they're still getting even more frustrated. And I don't fully understand why Daredevil is just not Daredevil. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like his reasons for not being Daredevil, I don't understand. Like Fisk not wanting to be a crime boss and wanting to go legit. That's a story that I'm familiar with. That's one that's been told, and I get that. But him saying, I just don't feel like being a hero because I might hurt somebody, and then just kind of letting the city, burn, and just kind of like I don't understand. His motivations don't seem realistic,
Okay.
or very heroic in any particular way. It just seems like they're trying to do this soft reboot, and the show suffers. We're doing 2 main characters that are outside of the roles that we want to see them in for now 4 episodes of them, and we're focusing on two different leads here, both outside the realm of what is interesting to us. running against the same problems. We're really like watching the same story told from two different points of view and vantage points for 4 episodes of like, well, Fisk is dealing with this and Matt's dealing with this, and they're both
Sure.
getting pretty frustrated. And pretty soon we know what's coming, and it's still not here. So it's just like we know it's coming, we know what's going to happen, but they're just not. It's not building. There's nothing that's happening at the beginning or the end of these episodes that like a through line that's making me want to get to. Oh, I can't wait to get to the next one. Even like this the Muse thing, which I hope is really cool. It felt like the cliffhanger you might find on a Criminal Minds show. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
it's not a character. He doesn't have a character that we know or care about. It's not like it was if it was Teresa at the end of the episode or somebody like
Hmm.
or Daniel or so like, oh my gosh, okay, I can't wait to see what happens next. But it's like, all right, well, that guy's dead.
Sure.
And he's gonna start at, do a tableau or something, and we're gonna investigate the killer. But there's nothing like there's no cliffhangers at the end. There's nothing that's like, oh, we got this through line that's really interesting. And meanwhile, on TV at the same time, we have like Severance, which is one of like the best TV shows
So good.
like of all time. And it's a slow burn show, and they're like putting on a master class on how to do slow burns and how to have payoffs and how to have one episode end. And you're like, oh my God, I cannot watch another episode. What do you mean I can't watch another episode? And this show ends, and I'm like, oh, good. I have a whole nother week before I have to watch one. It has not
Wow.
it has not earned the benefit of the doubt. Like, I keep trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, but there's nothing that's happened in the first 4 episodes where I'm like, okay, the payoff is coming. Now I was willing to like, all right, the end of episode 2, he's losing it. Okay, great, we're gonna get it. All right, end of episode 3, White Tiger dies. He's gonna be real mad and real emotional. We're gonna get to see some real character stuff, and it's just kind of
Sure.
each episode's like a soft reset of an already soft reset of 2 shows mashed together about 2 characters who are soft reset within their worlds. It's just like it's maddening to me. It's like
Sure.
Inception, but like a bad version where everything is just kind of worse than what it could be. Anyway, that's my rant. You guys can now talk.
Well, should we move on to like our ratings screen and start giving the
All right,
ratings?
let's do it. Yeah, let's
Okay.
rate it and rant it and rate it.
And there we go. All right. So here are our current ratings for each of these episodes. Dylan, you want to start, or Charlie? You kind of just gave your rant. Where you fallen with this one then?
All right. And I need to lower some of my other ratings if this continues, but I'm gonna go like 6.8.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, that really dropped your average there. All right, Dylan.
I probably would have gone 6.5 if it hadn't been for Daniel's absolute fantastic, like the whole scene. That whole scene. I'm gonna go 7.
Diplomatic. Well done.
Diplomatic immunity.
There was some good acting. Some good acting, no doubt.
There was great. Oh, and the Punisher, Daredevil, or the Frank Castle, Matt Murdock
Mhm.
scene. Absolutely, yeah. No, strong 7. Strong 7. There were I completely agree with everything that you said. But I mean, those scenes were really good.
Brody's about to drop a 9. Do it, Brody. Do it. You love
No,
this
not
one.
a 9.
You
no,
loved it. Do it. Do it.
Not a 9. It is higher than you guys. I was going 7.5. This there were a lot of things that I liked about this episode. I liked and hopefully that this is kind of where we're finally going, but getting like Daredevil with the Billy Clubs. I really loved Kingpin with his Kingpin ways. I really liked the Punisher stuff. I really liked that Fisk is kind of struggling with being mayor. I don't think this is like what he thought he was signing up for.
Right.
Mhm. But with all that, it did feel like a very transitional episode. The other things were like Leroy, what happened to that? Did he just get his 10 days? Did he go back for probation? Do we have to go through more Leroy? Like, do we have to go through another courtroom scene with Leroy?
Nope, that was it.
It was
That's
just kind of like, there it was, and Matt felt bad for him. It did feel like a very transitional episode. So It is I think my least favorite of the series, but there was still stuff that I liked. I still laughed at the "We built the city on rock and roll" being there twice for no reason. It just made me laugh. I don't know. The scroll thing, just these little things that I was like, I am still enjoying this show, but yeah, this was a very transitional episode.
Yeah, that Wilson Fisk two-dong exit was great.
And for our next one, no. It was great. It was great. It was great. I gotta go.
So talented. So talented. It was great. There was good moments, and I wish I could enjoy them more. I just wish I trusted what they were doing. They set up like the first 4 episodes with the cops and the Punisher logos, and now we got it took them 4 episodes to even show Muse. Now we got only 4 episodes left. We still don't have Daredevil or Kingpin or Muse or any resolution to the Punisher officers. They can't.
5 episodes.
How many episodes are they do? We have 5 left? Is
we
it
have
9?
5 left because there's 9.
Okay. It's going to feel like
I think
slow and then too much
fast, yeah.
crammed together, and it's going to be like, oh wait, what happened? I don't know. Anyway, maybe they pull it off, and I'm eating. I love being wrong about stuff like this. Like this is like, nothing would make me happier. Next week, I'm like, oh my gosh, everything they did in the first 4 episodes was genius. I just didn't see it yet. Oh my goodness. But that'd be great. I'll take it. We'll see. Stay tuned next week. We'll find out.
All right.
Trying
to see how many. I don't know. I don't need to spend time on air for this. I think that there's 9. So we'll see. Hopefully there's 5 more episodes, and hopefully we get going now. Hopefully we're kind of past all the old stuff and we get into the new stuff, and we can get kind of a story.
Yeah, there are 9, and next week, stay tuned because it is a double episode. So we get 5 and 6 being released next week. So it's 8. It's we have the double ups. We know some good stuff's going to be coming. I think we will be singing a little bit of a different tune next week. At least we better. If we have a double episode next week and it's all filler stuff, I'm gonna be real mad.
This is going downhill.
I'm tapping out at that point.
Oof. All right. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else to add to this then? All right. Charlie, how about you close us out?
Look, we'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about the series. Are you more on the optimist side, Optimus Prime, like Brody over there? Or are you feeling a little bit of the fatigue from the runaround like your boy over here? Maybe you're just a little bit Switzerland and you're about to make a classic Dylan exit out of the channel here and say goodbye. Either way, we loved having you here, and we can't wait to see next week for a double episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Like and subscribe.
I'll fix that.
Do it for Fisk.
Bye.
Do it for Fisk.